Hello everyone, I'm back again, and today we are going to review Combat Patrol Deathguard. First, the propaganda. Why would you like to play Deathguard? Because you like zombies and you like Space Marines. Or you would like to be the toughest guy around. Not in strength, but durability. You either like to field a zombie horde, or as few models as possible. Or the last case scenario, you are that type of player that never takes a shower. So your rolls will be blessed by your god, Nurgle. About Deathguard. They have their Primarch, which is great, and his model is also one of the best. It's really awesome centerpiece. While they don't have many unit types, each of their kits are very customizable. So you can brew up your dream or nightmare type of models. Okay, but they are so tough on a table too? Well, yes. This is one of the toughest armies, and they are really good in melee. Their shooting is okay, they have some special weapons that are really great, but those are few in numbers. Yes, they are tough, and they are great in melee. The consequence, they are slow. It's not really a problem, because they have few fast units, but you are going to have to use those. So other than this box set, you should also check out the 40th Blood drone and the Mythic Haulers. If you like those, ready to go. But first, let's check out their rules. What they can do. I mean the Deathguard, not the drones. They have many great rules. First of all, they have plague weapons. Some of their weapons are plague weapons. It's on their datasheets. With these weapons, you can reroll the wound rolls of 1, which is great, almost like a free Lieutenant aura. Other ability, Remorseless. Each time when they are taking a combat attrition test, you can ignore any or all modifiers. So, less model will flee in the moral phase, if there is any that flees. Other than this, one of their best abilities, Disgustingly Resilient. With this one, each time a unit with this ability, usually Plague Marines, Terminators, so anything marine related, and their vehicles, when they are taking damage, they take 1 less. But at least 1. So if they get hit by a heavy bolter, which is damage 2, and they can't save it, they will only take 1 damage. Or when they take a damage from a damage 3 weapon, they will only take 2. So it is really great. Especially because most people use damage 2 weapons because it can deal easily with marines. But those weapons, I not say will be rendered useless, but they will lose at least half of their efficiency. So Blade Guard veterans, or Sanguinary Guards, or even Heavy Bolters won't kill a Plague Marine in 1 hit, so that's nice. Other than this, they have Malicious Volleys, which is basically you can shoot double with your rapid fire weapons, or if the unit remains stationary, or the shooting model is a Terminator. Terminators always rapid firing. Okay, and here's another cool rule called Contagions of Nurgle. All of your Deathguard units have an aura ability called Gift of Nurgle or Contagion, which range increases. In turn 1 it is 1 inch, in turn 2 it is 3 inches, in turn 3 it is 6 inches, and in turn 4 it is 9 inches. When an enemy unit is in this aura, they have to subtract 1 from their toughness characteristic, which is really great because you can wound them much easier. In normal case, you shoot a bolter and you wound a Space Marine on a 4+, but now if he is in your contagion range, you wound them on 3+. So this one is really great. Usually it will help out against infantry, but if you put a Plague Marine or some zombies next to a vehicle, but not in combat with it, well, it can help out in your shooting phase also, so that's nice. Some other rules. Inexorable Advance. If your unit did not fall back or advanced, it counts as remain stationary, which is really great because if you look back at the Malicious Volleys, if your unit remains stationary, you can shoot twice. This is also the Inexorable Advance. Infantry units can ignore any or all modifiers when they are making an advance or a charge roll. And the last one to this Inexorable Advance, your vehicle unit doesn't suffer penalty when they are shooting heavy weapons in melee. It is okay, but usually you don't want your heavy weapon shooting units in melee anyway. The next one, Disease Minions. I will simplify this one really easily. Basically you can't have more Plague Follower or Poxwalker units than Bubotic Astartes. So what does it mean? You can't have more Zombie or Cultist units than Deathguard Space Marines. For example, if I have 3 units of Plague Marines, then I can have 3 units of Poxwalkers and 3 units of Cultists. That's it. 30 Dryans. Basically you can have 3 of these character units without taking up any slots. These are the Teleman, Plague Surgeon, Noxorious Blightbringer, Fall Blightspawn, and Biologous Putrifier. He is also in this box set. And the last one, called Infernal Jealousy. In each detachment, you can only have 1 Lord of the Deathguard or 1 Demon Prince. Lord of the Deathguards are Typhus and anything that has Lord in his name. Lord of Violence, Lord of Contagion, Deathguard Chaos Lord, and Deathguard Chaos Lord in Terminator armor. That's it about them. These are many rules, but each of these are easy and simple. Just many. There's also one called Deadly Pathogens. This one is simple. These are basically upgrades for your Deathguard characters and Bubotic Astartes units. So anything that is Space Marine related. Each time when you give this one to a model, you select one of the weapons of this model, but it has to be a plague weapon, and that weapon gets this ability. We have 7 of these. How interesting, 7 is also the Nurgle's number. First one called Acidic Melody for 15 points. Improve the armor penetration characteristic of this weapon by 1. Choose a weapon, it has a better armor penetration. Nice. Next one, Explosive Outbreak for 15 points. Each time an attack made with this weapon and the hit roll is 6, you score 1 additional hit. But this is not cumulative with the Tollkeeper's ability. Okay, the third one, Virulent Fever for 15 points. Each time when you make an unmodified wound roll of 6 with this weapon, you score 1 mortal wound in addition. Befouling Runoff for 5 points. Each time when you make an attack with this weapon, the target does not receive the benefit of cover, so it's better on shooting weapons. Next one, Unstable Sickness for 10 points. When you make attacks with this weapon and it destroys a model, you roll a d6 and on a 4+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound, but maximum 3 per turn. There's also a stratagem that does the same, but a little bit better, called Befouled Incubators, and you can't use the stratagem with this ability, just for disclaimer. The last two, first one, Corrosive Filth for 15 points. Each time when an attack made against a vehicle with this weapon, you add 1 to the damage characteristic. And the last one, Viscous Death for 5 points. Each time when you determining the number of attack that you made with this weapon, you can reroll the results. So this one best on something like a Plague Pursuer or a Plague Belcher, so Flamer equivalent weapons. There are also 7 Plague Companies, and you can check out these. Many of them are really great, but is basically almost the same as in case of the Orcs. It gives you 1 stratagem, 1 Warlord trait, and 1 relic. So with this, you can tweak a little on that list of yours. But now, I feel the fever that I want to check out this box set. Let's go! Price $160 or 125 euros or 95 pounds. Value inside the kit, 194 euros. Points value, 508 points. Plus the upgrades that you can purchase from the Deadly Pathogens. It has Typhus, one of the named characters of the Deathguard. He is really great. We will check on him. It also has a Biologist Putrifier, 7 Plague Marines, and 30 Poxwalkers. But now, let's check out our HQ option first. Typhus. 1 model for 65 points. Well, that's really expensive. But why? First of all, because he's a really tough guy. He's a great fighter, he's an awesome psyker, and he has many abilities to support his army. Okay, let's check out this beast of a character. Let's check out his weapons first. Blight Grenades. Range 6, Grenade D6, so shots between 1 and 6. It has a Strength 4, 0 points of armor penetration, and damage 1. It also has the Blast keyword, so if the enemy has 6 or more models, it makes at least 3 hit rolls. If the enemy has more than 10 models, it makes 6 hit rolls. It is also a plague weapon, so you can reroll the wound rolls of 1. Okay, and let's check out the awesome one. Mastercrafted Man Reaper. So the scythe thing. This is basically a power scythe, but this weapon has 2 profiles. There is the cleave, when you are going for the big hits. With this one, he attacks 6 times, with the weapon skill of 2. But these are the heavy attacks, so you have to subtract 1 from your hit rolls. He will hit on 3 pluses, with a strength of 7, 3 points of armor penetration, and damage 3, which is really great. Or you have the other option, called Scythe. With this one, he attacks 12 times, hitting on 2 pluses. These 12 attacks goes with the strength 5, 1 points of armor penetration, and damage 1. This weapon is also a plague weapon. Okay, let's check out his abilities. First one, he has the Disgustingly Resilient. He also has the Contagions of Nurgle, and he has the Teleport Strike, so he is able to deep strike. He already has a 2+ armor save, but just in case, he also have a 4+ invulnerable save. He has 2 aura abilities. One of them, Master of the Dead Who Walk. Basically, when there are Poxwalkers near to him, so friendly Poxwalker units within 6 can add 1 to their strength characteristic. With this, your zombies hitting just as hard as Space Marines. Kind of cool. The other one, Lord of the Deathguard. When there are Deathguard core units near to him, like the Plague Marines, they can reroll the hit rolls of 1. He has 2 other abilities. One of them called Vector of Disease. You know the contagion that we talked about earlier. He can add 3 to this range. He has a 12-inch aura of -1 toughness to your enemies. The other one, Host of the Destroyer Hive. In your command phase, you can select one enemy unit within 6 of this model. You can roll a d6, and if you roll a 2+, then that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. And the last one, Herald of Nurgle. While he's in the Harbinger's Plague Company, you can include him into any other Plague Companies. So basically you can take him into any other Plague Companies other than Harbingers. If you bring him in Harbingers, he can have a Warlord trait. And the last one, he is a Psyker. He can manifest 2 psychic powers, and he can deny 1. He knows Smite, and 2 other psychic powers from the Contagion discipline. So yeah, he is good in everything. Let's check out the other character. Biologist Putrifier. 1 model for 60 points. Usually I don't like this guy. He is just an upgrade for your grenades. He can be good, but only for 1 turn. Let's check out what he can do. He has a pistol called Injector Pistol. 1 shot with a range of 3. Strength 4, 1 points of armor penetration and damage 1. But it is also a plague weapon. But it has a cool ability. If you can successfully wound an infantry, a cavalry or a beast unit with this one, after the wound you can inflict d3 mortal wounds, in addition to your normal damage. He has a plague knife, which he can make 4 attacks with, hitting on 3 pluses, strength 4, 1 points of armor penetration, damage 1, and it's also a plague weapon. And here comes the upgraded grenade. Hyper Blight Grenade, range 6, grenade d6, so make hit rolls between 1 and 6. It has a strength 4, 1 points of armor penetration, damage 2. It also has the blast keyword, and it is a plague weapon. Other than this, he have another type of grenade called Crack Grenade, but in 90% of the time that is strictly worse than the Hyper Blight Grenade. Range 6, grenade 1, strength 6, 1 points of armor penetration, and damage d3. So damage between 1 and 3. Other than this, he has Disgustingly Resilient and the Contagions of Nurgle. He has 3 abilities, one of them called Blight Rex. If there are friendly Bubotic Astartes units within 6 of this model, instead of their normal Blight Grenades, they can use Hyper Blight Grenades also. So one of the models, if there is enemy within 6, can have 1 points of armor penetration and 1 damage to the random number of the shots of the grenade. So can be good, but eh. The other one is kind of cool, Putrid Explosion. When this model is destroyed, you can roll a d6 before removing him from play, and on a 4+, he explodes and deals 1 mortal wound to every unit around him, except Nurgle units. And the last one called Foul Infusion. You can pick one Deathguard core unit from the same Plague Company as him, that is within 6 of him in your command phase. And that unit, until the end of the turn, each time when they are fighting in melee and making a wound roll of 6, they inflict 1 mortal wound, in addition to any normal damage. This can be only used once a turn, and it's not bad. Let's check out the Poxwalkers. You have 30 Poxwalkers, and one model is 5 points, and all of these 30 models are 150 points. You can make 3 10-man squad, or 1 10-man, and 1 20-man squad, or a mix between these, but it has to be at least 10-man, and it can be more than 20-man squad. Well, this unit is relatively slow. They don't have a save, because they have a save of 7+, so in cover they can have a 6+ save against things that doesn't have armor penetration. Basically this unit is a slowly shambling forward zombie unit, which will either reach your enemy, or your enemy has to shoot them, but they can eat off a lot of bullets before they die completely. They have an ability called Unending Horde. After they take a wound, you roll a d6 for each wound that they've taken, and on a 6+, the wound is not lost. This is really good because with this one you can save even mortal wounds. They have another ability called Fodder. This unit brainless, so so they automatically pass the morale test. They have 2 other abilities, one of them called Mindless Horde. This unit cannot perform any action, excluding Spread the Sickness, which is a Deathguard specific. The last one called Curse of the Walking Pox. You've seen some zombie movies, I guess. When a zombie bites you, you will turn into zombie. In this case, if they kill any models in melee, excluding vehicle and monster models, they can regain 1 dead Poxwalker for each of these killed models. But the important thing is they can regain, so you can't have more than you started with. So a 20-man unit can never be more than 20. Each of these has 2 attacks, hitting on 4+, with a strength of 3, 0 points of armor penetration, and damage 1. This is nothing to rave about, but why they are great? They have a stratagem called Mutant Strain. For 1 common point, if you use this, any unmodified hit rolls of 6 will cause 1 mortal wound, in addition to any normal damage. Well, yes, hit rolls of 1 will cause 1 mortal wound to you, but you won't care. I've just seen a 20-man Poxwalker unit with this stratagem just kill Angeron. I would like you to imagine that. The champion of the Chaos God Khorne, the son of the Emperor, one of the most fierce warriors, who turned into a big demon, almost as big as a titan, with 2 demonic weapons and cool things like that, yeah. And then came 20 Poxwalker and just hit him to death with their fists. Yeah, kinda uncool and unceremonious, but it was awesome to watch. One cool trick for the Poxwalkers. There is a stratagem called the Dead Walk Again. You can select 1 Poxwalker unit and you can roll 7d6s. And for each 3+, you can add back 1 model to this unit. It's nothing amazing, yes? No, it is amazing, because it happens in your command phase. So if you are really close to an objective, with this one, when you are putting back the guys, you can take an objective and you can score more points. But normally, they won't do much. But for this cheap, I don't think that they are bad. A durable unit that you can push forward, or even just leave them behind to hold your objectives, or deny the deep strike opportunity from your opponent. And let's check out the last unit, Plague Marines. 7 model, and each model cost 19 points. And for the whole 7-man unit, you have to pay 133 points, plus upgrades if you want to purchase any. The Plague Marines box set contains 7 models. Usually this unit can be between 5 or 10 models. This unit has, I would say, a lot of weapon options, but that would be maybe an understatement. Usually, for 5 men, you can take 1 of each special weapon. You can kit out the unit to be really great at melee fighting, or to good at shooting, or what people used to do, that they put in a lot of different weapons, which in this case can be okay, because you only trade bolt guns to special weapons. So usually, they put in a lot of melee weapons, and a few special shooting weapons, because if you're not going to fight in melee with this unit, well, when you get shot at, you take away the melee weapons, since they are free. But if you are going to fight in melee, then when you reach melee and you took some damage, you take away the shooty guys. Okay, let's check out the weapon options and the other war gears. The unit's leader is the Plague Champion. His basic equipment is a bolt gun, a plague knife, blight grenades and crack grenades. This is the loadout for every guy in this unit, but the Plague Champion has some special options. First of all, for free, he can replace his plague knife with a demonic plague blade. The basic plague knife is strength 4, 1 points of armor penetration, damage 1 and the plague weapon. But the demonic plague blade, strength 5, 1 points of armor penetration and damage 1, plague weapon. So basically, for free, you can gain 1 strength to your attacks. The Plague Marines bolt gun, which is range 24, rapid fire 1, strength 4, 0 points of armor penetration and damage 1, can be replaced by the following: bolt pistol, no, don't do that, plasma pistol and plasma gun. Usually your best option is the plasma gun. The plasma gun and the plasma pistol has the same profile, but the plasma pistol is just 1 shot and range of 12, while the plasma gun is rapid fire 1, so if you are within half range, you shoot twice, and its range is 24, so double of the pistol. But the strength, armor penetration and damage characteristics are the same. Let's check out these. If you are not overloading this weapon, it has a strength of 7, 3 points of armor penetration and damage 1. If you are overloading this weapon, it has a strength 8, 3 points of armor penetration and damage 2. However, in this case, when you are rolling hit rolls and you roll an unmodified 1, then the weapons bearer is destroyed. That's why I recommend you to roll for each model separately, to know how many you should take away. And the last one, this is for free, and you can keep the plague knife or the demonic plague blade, but for free you can add the power fist, which is strength 8, 3 points of armor penetration and damage 2. However, this weapon is unwieldy, so you have to subtract 1 from your hit rolls. It has an immense strength and a really good damage. So if you are fighting against tough opponents, this weapon is really good. And if you are fighting against something small like Eldars or basic humans, then you can use the Plague Sword or the Plague Knife. Okay, let's check out the other options. Remember, for every 5 models, you can have one of these, but they can't have the same. If you want something like 2 Great Plague Cleaver, then you have to have a 10-man squad. Let's check out the great shooting options. One of my favorite weapons, Blight Launcher. It has a range of 24, it is Assault 2, so 2 shots, and you can shoot it even after running, but then you have to subtract 1 from your hit rolls. It has a strength of 6, 2 points of armor penetration, damage 2, and it is a plague weapon, so you can reroll the wound rolls of 1. Your other option, Maltagun. It is range 12, so it's the same as the pistols. It is Assault 1, so you can shoot it after running. It has a strength 8, 4 points of armor penetration, and damage d6. However, if you are within half range, so 6 or less, then its damage characteristic becomes d6 plus 2, so between 3 and 8. It can hit really hard from close range. Next weapon, Plague Belcher. This one is interesting, because this is the one that you can have only one in the unit. It doesn't matter how many guys in the unit. It has a range of 12, Assault d6, so shots between 1 and 6, strength 4, 0 points of armor penetration, and damage 1. It is a plague weapon, and you don't have to roll hit rolls, because this one is automatically hitting the target. Plague Spewer. This is a stronger Plague Belcher, however this one is heavy. Range 12, heavy d6, strength of 5, 1 points of armor penetration, damage 1. This one is also a plague weapon. Bubotic Axe. This one is a melee weapon. It has a strength of 6, 2 points of armor penetration, and damage 1. This weapon can be taken separately instead of a bolt gun, or there is another option when you can replace the bolt gun and the knife, then you get a Bubotic Axe and the Mace of Contagion combination. The Mace of Contagion can only be taken with a Bubotic Axe. This weapon, the Mace of Contagion, has the strength of 6, 1 points of armor penetration, but it is damage 3. This one is also a plague weapon, but this is unwieldy, just like the Power Fist. So when you are making hit rolls with this weapon, you have to subtract 1 from your rolls. Okay, and now 2 of the heavy hitter melee weapons. Flail of Corruption. This one is amazing. This is a plague weapon, but when you are attacking with this one, you can make 2 hit rolls instead of 1. So if you have 2 attacks, then you make 4 hit rolls with this one, so attacks 4 times. With a strength of 5, 2 points of armor penetration, and damage 2. This is a really cool generalist weapon, it can be really great against anything. And the last one, the Great Plague Cleaver. This weapon can be really hit or miss. Personally, I like this one, but I don't really see it in many lists. With this one, you can make 2 attacks at the strength of 8, 3 points of armor penetration, and damage d6, so damage between 1 and 6. This is a plague weapon, so you can reroll the wound roll of 1, but this one is also unwieldy, because it's heavy, so you have to subtract 1 from your hit rolls. Well, if it hits, it can tear the enemy a new one. Other than this, they have Blight Grenades, the same as in case of Typhus, and they have Crack Grenades. It is the same as in case of the Biologist Putrifier. Okay, and let's check out the other war gear options. Icon of Despair. In the morale phase, when you are in engagement range with an enemy unit, you can roll a d6, and on a 5+, that enemy unit takes a mortal wound. For free it is okay. But if you are taking this one, then on that model you cannot replace the bolt gun. So that model has to have a bolt gun and a plague knife. And your other option? Sigil of Decay. Each time when this unit shoots with bolt weapons, unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds the target, so you don't have to roll a wound roll. For free it is okay. The Plague Marines unit is one of your best units. You can rely on them heavily. They will do the heavy lifting for you, if you give them enough support. Heroes, spells, or even artillery, things like that. Slow but tough and reliable infantry. Many armies can only dream about troops like this one. Overall score, 7.5 out of 10. All in all, I think this box set is good for a starting point, but not as good that you should buy multiple of this one, because Typhus is a named character, so you can only use one of him. And I don't really see a scenario when you are going to need more than 30 Poxwalkers. This one would be a really great combination with the Boarding Patrol box set, but sadly that is already sold out. With this one you can get a taste of the resilience of the Deathguard. However, you are going to need more units if you want to see the hitting power of the Deathguard. The best units that you can add to this set, probably any of the Terminator units, like the Blightlord Terminators, or the Death Shroud Terminators, Mephitic Blight Haulers, Plague Drones, Rhinos to deliver your Plague Marines. Last but not least, one of the toughest vehicles in the game, the Plague Burst Crawlers. This box set is good, but if you truly want to see it shine, then you should add some of these. Thank you for watching or listening. If you like what I do, hit the like button, share, subscribe, or all 3 of them, or even hit the little bell. like the Deathguard with their bells. But if you don't hit the little bell, well, I will probably upload a new video on every Tuesday. But then again, thank you for watching, see you in the next one, bye.